Right. Good morning. This is Ian Bell, as I mentioned, from Gateway 3D. Thank you for joining the webinar this morning. So it's quite a good turnout, which is encouraging because it's quite interesting news that I wanted to show you this morning about the integration between Gateway 3D's custom product platform and the Personalise It app and CADlink's RIP software for direct-to-garment printing. So I'll just talk you through the process, show you how things work, and then if there are any questions, then we can take those at the end if that's okay. Right, so the basic principle of what we're going to discuss today is how the integration between getting the artwork from a website where a customer has designed a product through to production in the most efficient way. Now, CADlink have been developing software for about 20 years, and they're now in over 50 countries, basically managing print jobs in lots of different markets. Their system basically offers all the tools that you need to basically manage, set up, and queue the print jobs going into your direct-to-garment machines once you've actually received the order and the artwork. Now, Gateway 3D's system we offer basically a very advanced product personalization app online. It's got the ability to set the products up as you know that they will print, which is quite an important point rather than enabling customers to design something online that isn't feasible when it comes to production. And the app itself can be embedded into any modern e-commerce system. So what we're looking at here is basically this T-shirt in this window. This window is the same as the iframe that can be embedded into a website, and it can be specific per product. So you can set the products up however you want, you can assign the colours however you want, and you can decide if there's a front print, a back print, sleeve prints, etc., and that's all configurable in the back end of our system. Now, what we wanted to do was to automate the process for the artwork files generated by the customer on the website to be received into the RIP. Once in the RIP, they can be prepared as they would be normally and queued in whatever the most appropriate way is for the production. So any time saving that we can create in this usual process of receiving artwork, checking the quality, sizing the artwork suitable for the print, and then sending it to the RIP will obviously speed up your production processes and make the print shop more efficient. So today on screen I've got three things open. I've got our this is part of the Gateway 3D admin panel. So here I'm just showing this is effectively a point of sale. So if you were in store and you had customers come in, and you could use this interface, which is exactly the same interface as the app that would go onto a website. So a customer could come in, you could design something in front of them and basically add it to cart without it needing to go through the payment provider because you're taking the payment manually. The usual process when this is in a website is when you come to add into cart, obviously it will communicate with the payment provider, take the money, and then only at that point would it then generate any artwork files. So I've got this interface open. The other interface I've got open is the print manager interface where the orders are received once they have gone through the cart. So there's an EE t-shirt that I had prepared earlier, and there's a phone case for a different thing. So I've just got these two interfaces open, and then I also have open CADlink's RIP. So people familiar with the RIP software will see this is where the jobs are brought in, and this is where they're queued up in the relevant order for printing. So we've got a few different things here. There's a Chrome logo there and a few other new pieces of artwork. So let's just go back to the garment in the first place. What I'd like to do first is if I can add some artwork onto the product so you can see the process from the beginning all the way through to the end. I mean, on the Gateway 3D side, the customer basically uploads their artwork, the images that they need onto the garment, and any text that they need into the print area that's set. So it shows here, this blue dotted line is the print area that's been set up in the back end. as saying that is the printable area of the garment. So you can set that to whatever size is appropriate. And while before the artwork is completed and sent through for print, it actually checks the resolution. So you can set a resolution in the back end to confirm that that from there to there is a specific measurement, and you want so many pixels per inch of artwork to make sure that the print resolution is going to be suitable, and you can allow the customer to decide if they're happy to proceed if it is lower than the recommended resolution for the image. So if I just start off by adding an image, so if I click on the Add Images tab, click the button for Add Image, and then this gives you the option to browse to your local machine or any of these sort of social media platforms where you can pick photos and things up from. So if I did browse to my computer, I've got a few generic logos here. If I just stick this, it's a Budweiser bottle, I'll just stick that onto the shirt. So if I just shrink that down a little bit, now this is a JPEG, so a lot of digital photographs obviously would be JPEGs. I can move this around within the print area. You can see how it crops off so that the customer can see what the print is actually going to be like. We don't want to be printing the white background, so we have a background removal tool here. So that loads the artwork. You've got a tolerance slider here, so if you've got a low res image, it will help clear out any of the colour that you want. So if I just click once into the white background area, this should select all of the similar colours around that point that I've selected to a tolerance of 10%. So that in one go has cleared the full background, creating a transparent background. Just click Save, and now that takes the bottle onto the shirt, and I can still move this around within the print area. So I can set it like that. Maybe I'll shrink it down a little bit smaller. And then I could add some text. So this is just set up with 5 text colours, but you could have whatever text colours you wanted to. We use Google fonts. There's about 600 fonts that are available, 650 I think at the last count. I don't know what this font is, but I'll just select that font and then type something under here. Alright, so it's got a standard size. Let's see if I can bring this down a little bit. That's just fitting into the print area there. Or we can have a selection of all sorts of different fonts. And change the, I just want to get a slightly different font. Bear with me 1 second. Right, that looks more suitable. I think we'll probably have it in red. So, say for example that is the finished piece of artwork. What we'd then do is the customer's happy, that's the t-shirt that they want to buy, so they simply click Add to Cart. Now, at this point, if this was in a website, this would be redirecting you through to the payment provider to take the payment. You would fill in the form as you would do on any website. It would confirm the payment, and then the software would receive a call back from the payment provider to confirm the payment's gone through. And then it will then generate the artwork files and send them through to the print manager, which I'll show you in a second. So if I just put something in here, just put my email address in, gateway3d.com. That should be enough for the order. I'll just click Save. So your order has been processed. So at that point, it should appear in the Workflow Manager. I'll just refresh the page. So we have a new job appeared in the Print Manager. So this says the time and date that it was received. It's never been printed. Now, once it's received in here, to actually generate the artwork, a process runs every few minutes, for which would say it would then give a time that the actual artwork had been generated. So if I just click within the sort of the admin section here, I can press the print button, which will force the artwork to get generated. So it's generated a thumbnail straight away. This is an automated process, obviously runs on a cycle. So in normal practice you wouldn't need to do this at all. These jobs would just appear and say that they were printed ready to go through to the RIP. Now, should be nearly there. So I'll get a message in a second saying print successful. There we go. Right, okay, so print successful. So that would have been completely automated. You do actually get the fulfillment centre who would use this software. They would get an email confirming that an order had been received. I'll just refresh the page. So the artwork has come into, this is all at the Gateway 3D end. Now, if I go through into the CADlink RIP, there is one configuration that needs setting up in here. So this is the standard configuration. You set your printers up as you would do normally, set your different queues up for black shirts, white shirts, coloured shirts, etc. And you'll probably be familiar, for people who've used this software, the configure job polling section. In here, the only configuration that's needed is there is a polling URL set up, which is a Gateway 3D URL, and then there is a reference number at the end of this URL, which we provide, and also an access key, so basically a password. And here would be the default list of all of the queues that you have set up for your DTG machines. This will run on a 10-minute cycle, but if I just click Get Artwork Now, it says here importing. Let's get rid of that. So in a fully automated process, within over a 10-minute period from an order being processed on a website, so that could be if you are the fulfiller, that could be on one of your customers' websites. It could be your own website if you have the facility yourself to do the printing. So it's all about where the URL of the product is placed and how the URL is set up, and it sends the artwork through to the relevant fulfillment house. So if I just click on this bottom piece of artwork here, that will show the Budweiser bottle in the usual format. It's the resolution on these sections are usually a little low, but the actual artwork file itself that's printing is fine. So it shows that the artwork is there with the Budweiser text, which was entered, and there are the previous jobs that are in the queue. So as you can see, from an automated process, you don't actually need to touch anything. The customer designs the artwork, sets it through, orders the garment, whatever it might be, and via an automated process on our system, the print is generated, and on a 10-minute cycle, CADlink's RIP software receives the artwork. So and the artwork is set up at the correct size to the proportions that are set onto the garment in the first place. So it's a completely automated process, and it's going to change the way that orders are received from websites going into production, which is going to massively speed up all sorts of different types of websites when they're trying to streamline their processes to get orders from customers all the way through to production. So the actual demonstration is very straightforward, but that's the point, because there is no need for anyone to actually touch any of this. It's the customer designs it, and then it's ready to print, and you can then queue this to go straight onto a garment. So that is the principle, very simple, but like I say, but that is the point. So if anybody has any questions about how this works, then feel free to, you can just put a note onto the screen, and you should be able to send those through to me. Oh, there we go. Somebody's just put, what if I already have a website? Oh, I see. If you've already got a website and you're advertising clothing, the app itself can be installed. Any web developer who's familiar with working with an API can install it into the site, and you can configure your own products however you want. And then you talk to your, if you don't have the production facilities yourself, simply talk to a provider who has a direct-to-garment machine. So if you've already got a website, you will have a fulfillment of some sort. So I'm sure that they would be interested in being able to set this up so they could receive orders, because it would simplify the process for them. Sorry, somebody else writing. Where do the products come from? If I just go back here. So the products themselves that display on the site, for example, if I go into the product management section, you can configure your own products. So this particular product here I configured myself basically from a photograph I got from the internet. There was a front view and a back view of a t-shirt, and I've set it up so that the print areas are set up within the product. So these are all completely configurable. If I just edit this product, it will show within here. You can configure your print areas, your colour areas, so how many colours are allowed on the shirt. But you can actually configure all of these yourself, and you can set up multiple products depending on how you want to do the print. Okay, somebody's just asking about pre-designed garments. So for a pre-designed garment, if you're on a website that sells garments that are not personalisable, i.e. you can't upload your own photos, but it's already got an image on, this is really an ideal solution. Basically what it will do is you can set the artwork onto the product before you upload it into the website. That way a customer can go on, and if they like the design, they can simply click add to cart and order it. But the principle is exactly the same, because the artwork is tied to the product. As the customer orders it, it will then send the artwork file directly into the RIP ready for printing. So that way you can have a massive range of products available on a website for retail sale, but you'd have no stock. So the garments are done on a print-on-demand basis. So that is an ideal solution, and the software is being used a lot in that sort of marketplace. So what we'll now be doing is talking to the people who are doing the fulfillment with the CADlink software and rolling this out so that it's going to streamline their production processes. Because some of the sites that are offering print-on-demand garments are doing an awful lot of orders. So if they save 10 minutes per order, then it's going to be a massive cost saving at the end of the week. So yeah, I think if that is, I don't seem to have any more questions. By all means, feel free to contact me. My email address is ian@gateway3d.com, or you can ring on 01625 355 781, and I'll be happy to answer any further questions, or if you need any, if you'd like any details sent through, then feel free to contact me. But thank you for attending this morning, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Okay, thank you, goodbye.